Hey, what's up everyone? Josh Quinones here. Today we're going to be checking out another TV from Hisense. This time we have the Hisense Mini LED 4K U7 series TV at 65 inches. Not too long ago we did check out the U8K, great TV, but I did get a lot of requests to check out the U7, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Just an unboxing and first impressions, and huge thanks to shout out to Hisense for sending this out for us to take a look at here on the channel. This is a Google TV, like I said, Mini LED 4K. We got Mini LED with high view local dimming, peak brightness at 1000 nits. We got a Game Pro mode, up to 144 hertz of smoothness, quantum dot color. It supports Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. We got IMAX Enhanced. We got a film maker mode, just like with the U8. Got next gen TV, and it is Wi-Fi 6E enabled and does support Apple Airplay and Apple Home as well. But let's go ahead and get this unboxed and yeah, let's check it out. Now, of course, as always, these gotta go first. There we go, two more, and bam. All right, so you always wanna make sure you start off at the top when unboxing these TVs, because that's usually where the remote is, the manual and legs and all that, if it does come with legs. And yes, so starting off at the top here, we do get the remote itself. Let me set that to the back. We also get, it looks like, a leg on my left side here. There we go, there's one leg, the second leg over here. And then we also have the quick guide, the plug-in cable, and extra batteries and screws as well. And then once all that's done, we can go ahead and just lift up the box. Whew, all right. I only have so much room in this office, so these unboxings are not the easiest when it comes to these big TVs. We can remove that front cardboard, and there is the TV. All we gotta do is just throw the plastic down, get this out of the way. Boom, there it is, a Hisense U7. Okay, so looking at the back of the TV here, it does look like it has a bit of a different look than what we had with the U8K. Still getting that built-in subwoofer here, so curious to see what the experience is going to be like on this TV right here with that built-in subwoofer. Also looks like we may have side firing speakers. We got openings up at the top all the way to the other side as well. We do have our plugins, of course, LAN, digital audio out, USB 2, going over here to the side. We get the USB 1, serial HDMI 1 4K 60 Hz, HDMI 2 4K 60 Hz, a reset button, HDMI 3 4K at up to 144 Hz. Of course, that's going to be if you plug in a PC, HDMI 4 4K 144 Hz, antenna cable, AVN, and a headphone jack. And then going down to the bottom, it looks like we still get two separate options on where we can put the legs, just like with the U8K. So if you want to have the legs on the outside, you can do that. Or if you want to have the legs a little bit more in, you can do that as well, depending on how big your TV stand is. So that's a nice option there. Of course, over here to this side, that's where the plug-in port is going to be for the AC input. And then we also have a physical power button right here down at the bottom middle. But let's go ahead and get these legs on the TV so we can go ahead and set this up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with the inside option this time around. All it takes is two screws. The legs actually go right in, and then you just gotta put the two screws, and then it's on there nice and secure. As you can see here, and the legs are of a metal build, so they actually have a nice premium feel to them with little rubber chips down at the bottom, so you don't risk scratching up your TV stand. And not only that, but we do have some cable management up here at the top of the stand as well to run your cables through, just to give it a more of a nice clean look. Now we got the other side, and boom, now we are ready to set this bad boy up. All right, so we are all signed in and ready to go, as you can see here, and it took me about, I'd say it took about 12 minutes to set this thing up. By the time I was signed into my Google account and got all the apps downloaded that I wanted, it took about 12 minutes. And I gotta say, just looking at it straight on, kind of reminds me of the U8K. It's got that same exact look from the front, not the back, of course, which we saw a little earlier. But of course, you know, when we compare this to the U8K, and I might have a full video on that, but you know, of course, when we compare it to that, it's going to be a little bit more downgraded compared to the U8K, which does bring this price to around $730 right now on Amazon. So if for some reason you do find yourself interested in the U7 that I have right here, I'll make sure I have a link down in the description below. But let's go and take a quick look at it. We'll do a quick walkthrough, take a look at picture quality and sound quality as well. All right, so before we do a quick walkthrough of the TV here, first taking a quick look at the remote itself. It's the same exact remote that we get with the U8K, same exact look, same exact feel. The buttons light up as well. Of course, we do get that power button, input button, the Google Home Assistant button, an account button settings. We get the trackpad with the OK in the middle, back, cable button, home, volume, channel button, menu, play, pause button. Then of course, dedicated buttons down at the bottom for Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, Disney+, Tubi, and apps as well. And this is what the back of the remote remote is going to look like. Now going into the TV itself, of course, this is a Google TV. So we are greeted with that Google Home UI. We have, if I go to the left, it'll show me my account. I can click on my account. We have a For You page, watch on Tubi. We have, you know, episodes that it's recommending right here. We have our apps that are downloaded on the TV. It's gonna let us know the top selling movies, popular movies and shows, recently uploaded, and then the list just goes on the lower I go. Going back up to the top here, we also have live TV. So if I scroll down, it'll give us the TV guide and what time, you know, certain things are going to be on. So that's pretty cool there. If you're into live TV, that does come with this TV for free. And then we have our apps. So we got Disney Plus, YouTube, Roku. If I go down, we have our apps or my apps that are downloaded on the TV. We can search for apps and games. We got categories like entertainment, music and audio, video players and editors, tools, lifestyle, sports, news and magazines, productivity, education, health and fitness, communication, and business. So definitely tons of apps to choose from. Again, this is a Google TV, so the options are pretty much endless. I mean, so many apps to choose from that you can download on this TV right here. And then we have the library. If I go more over, we have our search button. So we can try saying, you know, play the Fresh Air podcast, or show me French films, show me children's shows. So just another little thing to be able to search on this TV. If I go further to the right, there's the settings button. If I go down, we can choose to put on a screensaver if we'd like. And you can even scroll through the screensavers if you'd like, find one that you like. Look at that. And they actually look really good on this TV as well. And then let me go ahead and go back to the settings right here. We have our inputs, Wi-Fi, picture, accessibility. And then down here, it just gives us a little notification, set up Apple Airplay and Home Kit, set up Kit's profile, or you can clear all, which I will go ahead and do. Let's go into the settings itself here. So we can mess with the channels and inputs, display and sound settings. So if I go over here to picture, let me click on that here. We have general settings. So we have picture mode, vivid, standard, energy saving. We have a game mode, which will automatically go into that gaming mode as soon as we hook up a console. We have a sports mode, theater day, which does brighten up the picture quite a bit compared to how it was, theater night, and a filmmaker mode. And then if we go back, can apply picture settings, intelligent scene, automatic light sensor. We've got a brightness setting, color, clarity, calibration settings, or you can reset it. Again, this is just a quick walkthrough. And then with my full review, we'll go even deeper into the settings here. Screen, sound, we can mess with the sound settings. It does have Dolby Atmos turned on. That subwoofer is turned on. And then we have a bass boost. I'm gonna go ahead and boost this up. See, we'll boost it up to 3 and we'll test that out here in a bit. We got advanced sound settings, balance, volume level, volume control, lip sync, equalizer. So definitely some good customization settings there. Audio output, these are what we get for that. And then game settings. So we have game settings as well. You can mess with the contrast, black level, instant game response, FreeSync, high refresh mode, high refresh rate mode. It says the feature is currently unavailable, but that's only because I don't have a console hooked up at the moment. Then we have network, home and internet, account, sign in, privacy, apps, system, remotes, accessories, help, and feedback. And that's pretty much it for these settings. Like I said, we'll take a deeper dive into the settings once I do my full review on this TV. But let's go ahead and take a look at some picture quality here. All right, so taking a quick look at some 4K content here to check out picture quality. And I can say here in person, it actually looks really good for a $730 TV. I mean, this is looking good. So if I go over here to picture mode, it's currently on vivid. And all you gotta do is press the menu button on the remote and it will pull up this menu bar down at the bottom. We got it vivid, we have our standard mode, energy saving mode, sports mode, theater day, which does change up the color a little bit, theater night, which will dim it a little bit more for you. And then we have filmmaker mode, which seems like it dims it even more. And if I go back up, let's see, I kind of like the theater day, to be honest. It just has more of a natural look, but it's still nice and bright. Let me go ahead and take away that menu bar. Look at that, not looking too bad. Okay, now just taking a quick look at a darker scene here. And this is looking pretty good as well. Nothing looks too dark, it doesn't look too dim. I can see everything that is going on here. The blacks are looking pretty good, the colors looking pretty good. The smoothness of the overall video is looking pretty good as well. No complaints here at all. For a $730 TV, we gotta keep that price in mind when looking at this TV right here. Okay, so now I want to check out volume and sound quality. We're gonna go ahead and use one of my videos here. That way I don't get copyright strike or anything like that. So let's go and check out volume. We'll start it off at 20 right here, and the microphone might not do the sound justice on this TV. I mean, it never does. It's always gonna sound better in person, but this is just to give you an idea of what sound is going to sound like. Let's go into the menu real quick. So sound is on auto mode. We got intelligent sound, which does make it louder. Late night, which makes things a little quiet. Speech, music, sports, theater, and standard. Let's see. Let me turn it up. 40. I kind of like intelligent. There we go. Well, intelligent really gives you that volume. So this is level 50. $60. And it's already sounding pretty loud. I mean, I am in a small office area, but the volume still sounds pretty loud in here for just being at 60. There's 70. Whew. And quality is looking good.
Alright, so we're getting on the first ride, so Millennium.
Here's 80.
Awesome right here.
90.
Speakers right there.
At 100.
Alright, so we made our way into the ride. They just have us waiting and exploring. I guess you would call this the lobby?
Woo. All right, so sound is sounding pretty good on this TV. Definitely, the volume is definitely there. If you get that volume pumped up, and you can also feel the subwoofer working as well. You get some nice low in there because of that subwoofer. I want to just take a look at one more scene here where we got a little bit of music, more noise. Let's check out volume one more time. Okay, yeah, that subwoofer is definitely doing work. Definitely giving us some nice low end with that beat. That's 80. Whew. Okay, so yeah, the sound is, it's sounding pretty good on this TV there at Disneyland. I'm actually gonna be there again tomorrow, so that should be fun. All right, well, there you have it, the Hisense U7K 65 inches. Like I said, going for around 730 bucks for the 65-inch model. Of course, if you go for the smaller version, it's gonna be a little less, or if you go for the higher versions, for the bigger models, it's going to be a bit more. But 65 inches seems to be the norm for a lot of people these days when it comes to a good sized TV. But so far for the price, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with this TV so far. Of course, I'm gonna have to, dive deeper into it, mess with all the settings, and see what this TV is capable of, especially when it comes to gaming. Maybe I'll even have a separate gaming video with this TV right here, like I usually do for my other TVs as well. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comment sections below. Do you find yourself interested in this TV? Like I said, I'll have a link down in the description below in case you want to check one out for yourself. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you did like this video and find it helpful, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you're not missing out on any other future videos to come, especially more videos with this TV right here. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. I'm Josh Quinones. Peace out.